Welcome to the level 1 mat flow class. So be sure and have a pillow close by or something that you can elevate when seated when we're on the mat, and your hand weights if you want to use weights. We're going to do a little arm work and you don't have to use the weights, and you can. So we're going to start with our roll down here, finding our weight even on both feet, and find your toes, your ball of your foot, and your heel weighted evenly. And the shoulders relax as you stretch from the top of the head. Make sure the feet are still evenly weighted. And be mindful as you roll down that that weight stays even on both feet. And just let your back stretch out here. Let the head be heavy. Keep the belly button drawn and attached. And then keep your weight even on your feet. Relax your head and shoulders as you stack the spine up. Check in on your feet, make it nice and long, and come right back up to that nice long spine. Soft knees here, a gentle twist from side to side. Keeping that length still through the top of the head, from the feet. One more in each direction. Be sure and look behind you each time. And then lengthen it up. We'll just do some really simple kind of grounding balance work here. So we're just gonna go shift our weight from 2 feet to 1 foot. So as we shift our weight onto the left foot, the right foot comes out to the side. You can just touch your toes, or you can leave it slightly off the floor. Center your weight on both feet and then switch it out. So just like a little ding, dong, a little pendulum action. So the whole time, you're really getting longer and lighter from the foot up. Don't grip the toe. Keep the foot nice and flat. This is what you're working. And one more in each direction. Find your weight even. We're going to do a nice roll down, and we'll gently come to the mat from there. Lengthening up the spine as the shoulders cascade away from the ears. Let your hips go back behind you. Be sure and soften your knees. Bend them if you need to. Let the back lengthen. Keep all the air out of your belly and send it with a big inhale and expand your back up to the heavens. Exhale it out and let your back lengthen from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Gently coming down, finding your comfortable position, laying on your back with wide shoulders, and the neck is equally long in the back and the front. So your chin isn't lifted, giving you a crinked neck here. If you need a pillow, your pillow, to help with that, be sure and use it, because you really want this to be relaxed and long here. Shoulders are wide, they support you. The knees are, let's start with our legs long and straight on the floor. So now you feel where your weight is in your tailbone here. Keep the weight there as you bring each foot in closer to the seat and bend your knees. So we still have our weight on the tailbone, and now we're in our neutral spine. So we can just barely fit a hand under the lower back there. We're going to go from our imprinted spine where our weight is, our neutral spine where our weight is on our tailbone right here. And then we're going to go into our imprinted spine where our weight is in our entire back. So you're going to deflate all the air out of your belly, and you're going to pull the whole top of the body, sucking it down into your whole back and widening out the back, widening out your shoulders, lengthening your neck as the back imprints the spine into your mat, into your floor. Keep the shoulders wide. Don't let that abdominal engagement release, but change the weight so it's right back out onto your tailbone once again, to our neutral spine position. We're going to imprint here, exhaling the whole top of the body down into the whole back. The whole spine imprints into the floor. Lengthen your neck, widen your shoulders, keep your shoulders flat, keep the belly button engaged, and move the weight back out to the tailbone. We're going to do one more of those. So when your weight's in your tailbone, it's a straight line across from your pubic bone to your hip bone here. We don't have the pubic bone higher or lower. It's a straight line. Imprinting one more time. Make sure this area here isn't doing any of the work. It's all right here. Make sure the legs aren't doing any of the work. It's the abdominal belt and the pelvic floor we want to use. Bring your feet in as close to your seat as comfortable, keeping that alignment from the center of your hip to the center of your knee to the second toe. So you have this straight line all the way down from the hip to the foot. Make sure the shoulders are wide. They're going to be part of your support with the feet. Flatten your back once again, imprinting your spine into the mat, and now push evenly into both of your feet. So your feet, just like a car jack, are pushing your hips up, one vertebra, then the next vertebra, then the next vertebra, and the next. This abdominal engagement hasn't stopped since we first did our pelvic tilt. Have an inhale here and feel that stretch across the top of your thighs. Feel the weight even in your feet and your shoulders. Keep your weight in your shoulders and your feet as you lay your breastbone down first, and then the vertebra below it, and the one below it. So you really have to scoop your abdominals to make sure you get your vertebra through flat back where they all are imprinted. And then the weight shifts out to my tailbone, and there is not weight in my lower back. Let's do that 2 more times. Imprinting as you deflate all the air out of your belly, pushing into both feet. Make sure your ribs stay anchored in close to your shoulders as your hips come higher than your ribs. This is a pelvic curl. We're not going to arch our ribs. We're not going to make a bridge here. We're going to do a pelvic curl. Keep the shoulders flat as you lay the spine down one vertebra at a time. Through flat back, out to the tailbone, 1 more to go. Exhaling as you imprint and push into your feet. Feel the weight in your shoulders and your feet. Keep the belly button pulled right tight. And then lay your spine down, keeping the weight in your feet and shoulders, and letting the shoulders relax wide onto the floor as you go. And then the weight's going to come all the way out to the tailbone. Stretch the fingers away from the toes. Reach the right side longer than the left side. And relax everything into the mat. Bring your hands behind your head. Engage your pelvic floor so your toes and your knees face the ceiling. Make sure that your quads are relaxed. Now, we've tightened the abdominal belt 360 degrees all the way around, and we keep this space in our lower back as we bring our head up, using these upper abs to lift our head. Nice relaxed neck, nice relaxed wide shoulders. Inhale with your head high. Check in on your pelvic floor, tighten your abdominal belt, and relax your neck and shoulders as you lengthen out your neck and lay your head to the floor. 2 more of those, 2 full breaths for 1 repetition. Inhale to prepare. Exhale. Keep the neutral spine tight. Keep the quads relaxed and curl up using your upper band of abdominals. Make sure your neck is soft, your jaws are relaxed. Inhale with your head high before you lengthen your neck out, bringing the head slowly to the floor. 1 more to go. Check in on the pelvic floor, soften your legs. Don't let the legs work here. Let the abdominal belt do all the work. Stretch from right between the shoulder blades to the base of the head. The neck is stretching the spine. And then hug your knees into the chest. And move your legs from side to side. Let the weight shift across the back. And then lengthen both legs up to the ceiling here. Bring them in. You can bend the knees, stretch through the lower back. And then arms are gonna go flat. Belly's gonna flatten, imprint the spine here, sucking that belly button down. Keep the shoulders wide. If your hamstrings are really tight, be sure you can put your hands behind your thighs to support. I don't want the quads doing the work. So if you need to, this is about the obliques. So if you're using your quads more than your obliques, put your hands behind your legs and support them here. So your shoulders and your arms and your hands are anchored into the mat. Your belly button flattens through. This is called tick-tock. So your feet and legs only go 3 to 4 inches out. It's a small movement. It doesn't have to be big because it's already hard. You don't need to make it bigger to make it harder. You're probably making it easier if you're making it bigger. So each time you come through, you feel that whole belly flatten into the whole back and imprint the spine. And we're going to do one more in each direction. Flatten it down. Like I say, if you need your hands behind the legs, flatten it down. And then bring the feet to the mat. Stretch it out long, fingers away from toes. And hug the knees into the chest. We're going to do our toe touches here. Tabletop position with the legs. So we have that 90-degree bend at the knee, 90-degree bend at the hip. So if your knees are out and you can't imprint your spine, bring your knees to a position where you can flatten everything entirely. So we want the whole back flat, the whole shoulder flat. Don't bend the knee, open from the hip as you float your toes to the floor. So you don't bend the knee and bring your toes to the floor. This is not the exercise, but you do open from the hip. So it's just like there's this big helium balloon right under your knee and thigh that keeps that knee in that position, and it floats your leg down and it floats your leg up as you flatten the belly, and you use this pulley system from the front of the knee to the front of the 12th rib. And you flatten your belly, and then you flatten your belly more, and then a little bit more. And we have one more with each leg. Keep it flat as the knee floats down. Keep flattening it as it comes up. Keep it flat as the knee floats out, and flatten it even more as it comes up. Hug your knees into your chest. Now we're going to go into our double leg and single leg stretch, Pilates 101. So the head's going to lift, knees are still in tabletop position. Keep your feet and legs together. Keep your head and chest lifted as you straighten your legs and your arms. You want to see your hands in front of you. They're not back here, they're here, because you're going to keep your shoulders out of it. And you're going to suck your belly button down so hard into the mat that that's what lifts your shoulders and head. And 4, we're going to 10 here. 5, and suck that belly button down more. 6, look between your legs. 7, look at your toes. 8, whatever helps your neck find relaxation because you keep it lifted. Last one there. Take one big breath with your head. Give your neck a relax. We're going to go into our single leg stretch now. Your toes and legs go in and out on the same shelf, and your shoulders come higher, and you suck your belly button down more. And we're going to go to 16 here. For 1, 2, 3. Energy through the legs. 6, 7. Suck the belly button down. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Now let your head be heavy in your hands. Find that relaxed neck. We're going to lift up, and we're going to do rotation here. Same leg movement as single leg. Shoulder blade, the elbows stay wide to shoulder blade. So from elbow to elbow, shoulder to shoulder, it's like you're a satellite dish. And 5, and 6. Let your head be heavy. We're going to 16, and 8, and 9. Pull that belly button down. Let your head be heavy. And 12, and 13. Shoulder blade to shoulder blade. One more on each side and lay it down. And hug those knees into your chest. Good job. Double leg, single leg, crisscross series. It's a good one. So now we're going to come out long on the side and do our side lifts. So your hips are stacked one on top of each other. Your shoulders are stacked one on top of each other. Once again, if your neck is uncomfortable, please use your pillow here. We want the neck to be relaxed. So your heels, your hip bone, and your shoulder are all in a straight line. So the feet are not behind the tailbone. They're in line with it. Lengthen out the body as long as you can make it here. Tighten that abdominal belt 360. Relax both feet. We're going to lift and lower both legs here. We're doing sets of 10 all the way through. So we've got 10, 9, make it longer, 8, breathe, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now the bottom leg's going to stay floating off the floor. Relax your feet and lift and lower the top leg. 1, 2, tighten that abdominal belt, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, breathe, 9, 10. Keep that leg just slightly higher than your hip. The bottom thigh is going to come up to the top thigh and both feet stay relaxed. For 1, 2, belly button in, 3, breathe, 5, 6, make your body longer, 7, pull the belly button tighter, and 9, and 10. On our last set, both legs again for 10, 9, 8, 7, breathe, pull the belly button in, 5, make it longer, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Lay it all down. Let's come into our table position here. So you want to find your chest and your back working just as much as your arms. So placement here is that wide chest, long, relaxed neck. So you can see here, then you're not letting your chest help you out. So knees are directly under the hips, hands are directly under the armpits. So you lift your weight up out of the mat, the weight's lifting up out of your wrists, out of your knees, and you lengthen from the crown of the head to the tailbone as you pull the abdominal belt tight. Then we're going to stretch the right leg straight behind you. Make sure both of your hips are still squared to the floor. Then the left arm comes forward, and that shoulder is far, far, far from the ear. Then you're going to tighten everything more, be lighter in the mat, lift up out of the mat as you reach your fingertips away from your toes, and stretch it long and make it tight. And one more big breath here. Gently bring everything down. Lift your weight up out of the mat. Extend your left leg long behind you. Keep those hips facing the floor evenly. As you stretch it out, keep that shoulder far. And the reach from the fingertips to the toes is intense. And the tightness around your belly and your back is intense. And you breathe. And then we're going to do one more on each side. Lengthening it out, shoulder low, fingertips, toes, tight core, and breathe. Lift your weight up, don't sink down. One more to go on the other side, switching arm and leg. Be light, be long, and strong. One more big breath. Make sure your hips are squared to the floor. And bring everything down to the mat and sink back into a child's pose or a cat-cow, whichever you want. Sending your air into your back ribs. One more big breath here. And then we're going to stretch out onto the other side for our side lifts with sets of 10 all the way through. So your placement is one straight long line, just like an arrow. Be sure and use the pillow if your neck is strained. So heels, hips, shoulder, one straight line, and everything stacked. Lengthen it out, tighten the core, both legs for 10, 9, find an even breath, 8, 7, 6, 5. This is what we're working for. 3, 2, 1. Make it longer. Keep the bottom leg off the floor floating and the top leg will lift and lower. Relax both feet. And 2, and 3. And tighten all the way around that body even more. And 6, and tighten that pelvic floor. 8, and nice wide chest. And last one there. Now that leg stays slightly higher than your hip. Soften both feet and bring the bottom thigh up to the top thigh for 10, 9, 8, 7, breathe, 6, tighten those abs, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both legs at the same time for 10, 9, breathe, 8, lengthen the body, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Okay, let's do a little bit of ab work and then we'll do some back work too. And a little bit of side flexion. So, we're gonna have knees bent, everything once again, that straight line from the second toe to the center of my hip. Okay, so you can hold on to the back of your thigh. You can have your hands in I Dream a Genie position, or you can have your hands straight in front of you. Once again, it's a very small movement, but it's very intense, so you do it correctly and you get tons, tons, tons of benefit. So we start with this long, straight spine. We're gonna send our belly button straight down to the floor. And we're gonna lower back, just like I say, 3 inches. You stay on the tailbone, you don't go into your back. And then you keep it there and you let the belly button pull you up. We're staying in the C curve now. And you're gonna send that belly button straight down to the mat. And you're gonna pull it up right behind the sits bone, your weight. Stop there. Send that belly button into the mat. Don't let the belly button leave your spine as you bring yourself up with it. 3 more to go. The belly button hasn't left your spine. It's touching it the whole time. And the shoulders aren't doing the work. 1 more to go. Just 3 inches, 2 inches down, straight to the floor with that belly button. And then straight back up. No leg work. I forgot to say it, sorry. No leg work there, that was all core. All right, let's come on to your stomach here. Your feet are mat distance apart, turned out, and you've sucked your belly button straight up into your spine. So they're snapped together. Let's bring the arms alongside the body. So they're in a comfortable position for your shoulders to be wide and relaxed. Your whole hand and arm are supporting right alongside the body. As you suck the belly button into the spine, you bring your forehead to the mat. So we're going to keep all the weight out of the arms and hands to begin with. Look ahead of you as you suck your belly button into the spine. And then let the shoulders glide down the back as your back lifts you up. And then when you can't lift anymore with your back, pull that belly button in, let the weight come into your arms, into this nice Sphinx position. So in this position here, I want you to find your shoulders wide and lengthen from the waist through the crown of the head. Keep the belly button pulled in. We don't need to go higher than this right now. And then lengthen from the waist as you lengthen down from the waist 1 vertebra at a time. So we're going to do 2 more of those, and then the last one, if you want to go higher up, you can. But I really want you to find your back doing all the work that it can, and then working with the support of the arms as you lengthen from the base of the spine in both directions. 1 more here. As the head lifts, the shoulders go the opposite way, melting into the back. Last one. And now on this one, if you want to push higher up off of the forearm, go right ahead. Head lifts first, shoulders aren't doing the work, the entire back is lifting you up. Then if you want to come up higher, Come into your extension, shoulders still wide, and you still lengthen it from the waist as you bring the head to the mat. And then stretch back into a child's pose or a cat-cow. So if we're in our cat-cow here, you want to send the belly button up equal to the shoulders. And then keep the belly button right in the spine as you lift your tailbone and widen your chest and lift your head. Don't let the belly button go away from the spine as it lifts the spine up to the sky. Keep lifting the weight up out of your wrists. Don't let the belly button leave your spine as your shoulders widen and the chest lifts, the head lifts, and the tailbone lifts. One more of those. And then stretch through your arms. And come to seated on your pillow. So we're gonna do, I'm gonna talk you through the first one slower, and then we're gonna do two to follow at a little bit faster of a pace. Spine stretch. So it's all about the range of motion. We're gonna give your spine, everybody's spine, you're gonna give it to your body. It's big, present to your back. So toughest part is relaxing the quads. Your feet are hip distance apart and your hands are directly in front of your armpit. So it's like I have an arm around your waist and I'm pulling your belly button back. And as I'm pulling your waist back, you're reaching your fingertips to your toes. And then once they get there, I release, the waist releases and the back lengthens. Soften your legs and stretch the spine up from right where you're seated. Now the arms are alongside the head and you reach from the tailbone, not from the arms, not from the shoulders, the tailbone through the crown of the head. And when you can't keep the back flat anymore, your hands come to the floor, your head releases, and then you stack the spine up one vertebra at a time. Two more of those. Hands come directly in front of the armpit. Arm around the waist back. Keep that belly button pulling back as you reach forward with your fingertips. And then lengthen the back, keep the belly button tight, and soften your legs. Soften your legs as you reach from the sits bones forwards with your back. Soften your legs as you come down. Let your hands come to the floor. Stack the spine up one vertebra at a time. One more to go here. Hands in front of the armpit. Arm around the waist all the way back. Keep pulling back as you reach forward. Lengthen the back long from where you're seated. There's a lift out of the hips. As you come forward, relax your legs. And then stack the spine up with the hands on the mat. One vertebra at a time. Good job. And now we're going to do our twist. So you want to still be on the pillow because I want you to have as much length as possible in your lower spine. So it's same thing, satellite dish arms here. So from elbow to elbow, shoulder to shoulder, it's a satellite dish. So the twist is happening right here. These are our obliques that are moving the body. So all the way around your body, 360 degrees, integrated with your ribs, is moving you from side to side. Once again, relax the legs. Feel like I'm behind you with my hands on your shoulders. Gently giving you that nice press down, keeping those shoulders even and wide. Where you want the length is from the base of the spine through the crown of the head. We don't lift the shoulders, we lift from the top of the head and we pull the belly button tight. Don't let the belly button go. One more to each side. And bring it back to center. And then we'll do a little gentle spine twist, laying down to end with. So the same thing here, keep your hips up on the pillow, find a comfortable position. in your lower back and tailbone to be supported. So your knees can be your feet can be floating off the floor with your knees bent, or you can have your feet on the floor with the knees bent. Arms out into a nice soft T position where you're very relaxed, and just let the knees come out to the right side, keeping that left shoulder flat, reaching the left hip away from the left shoulder. Letting there be length through the back, keeping the slight engagement in the abs. Bring the top knee up, then the lower knee as you come across to the other side. Both knees just fall out however it's comfortable. And then once you find that comfortable floating position, reach the hip away from the shoulder. Reach the hip towards the knee. Let the back lengthen in that gentle, soft twist. One more breath here. Then bring the top knee in and have the other knee come to meet it. Pull them both up, straighten both legs, and feel that stretch from the lower back through the glutes with that nice lift. Let the shoulders support widely. Feel that lower back stretch. Keep the belly button drawn in. And thank you so much for joining me. It was a great class. See you soon.